Hello, fellow residents of Tamriel. It is the Beeve, and after a pretty long hiatus, I am back playing ESO. I've been doing things a little differently since I came back. I've been using a lot of, I've been tanking a good bit. I'm trying to get into healing now just to break up the monotony of, being a DPS all the time. But I did want to make a couple videos showcasing some of the DPS that I'm using and, the gear sets and rotations that have been successful for me. First one I want to show you today is the Stamina Sorcerer. This right here is just a single target monster, uh, quite possibly the hardest hitting single target class in the game right now. And I have chosen Orc for this class, mainly because you get your increased max stamina, you get your increased max health plus a heal every 4 seconds when dealing damage, and increased weapon and spell damage just from the passives for the orc. If we go into our character sheet right now, let's go ahead and buff up a little bit. 5377 in weapon and spell damage, 51.3 weapon critical, physical and spell penetrations are at 1169, 18k in both resistances, max stamina is 30k, 29,969, maximum health 26,410, maximum magicka 18,451. Decent health recovery, 1,033, 1,103 stamina recovery, 689 magicka recovery. We are using tri-stat foods, the Bewitched Sugar Skulls, which is, providing us with all the max health. So having this build with, as much health as it is really gives us survivability. And I've not run across too many sustain issues so far with not having recovery food on. All points are in stamina, and we are using the Thief Mundus Stone for the extra weapon and spell critical. To go over gear here, we are using the Maelstrom Perfected Greatsword. It is infused with a weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. The Sorc being such a single target monster and doing so much direct damage, the new rework for the Maelstrom two hand here is very beneficial to us. For 18 seconds after using critical charge, we increase the damage of our direct damage attacks by 430 up to a maximum of 560, which the 560 always happens because it scales off of your weapon and spell damage. So that's just straight damage added on to all that direct damage, and we do a ton of direct damage. We are using crystal fragments. We are using we're using our bird. We're using our scamp. We are using uh, the rapid strikes ability. So all of those things end up being just direct damage, and this really buffs the amount of damage that those abilities do. So it works perfectly. Um, for our weapons and jewelry, we are using Advancing Yakita, all in Bloodthirsty on the jewelry with weapon and spell damage enchantments, and we are running daggers. We have front hand is Nirnhoned with flame damage, offhand is charged with poison damage. I think you're going to see when update 41 hits, this is going to be kind of the meta. Maybe I don't know. Like to me, it's what I'm going to use. But the the charge status effect or the increased status effect chance from the charge trait and the poison damage come update 41 is going to be very strong because the poison status effect is going to have an execute factor to it, an execute ability to it, so it's going to deal more damage the lower health the target is. And so you want to be able to apply that poison status effect as often as possible when update 41 hits, because I think it's going to be really hard hitting, to be completely honest with you. This set is found in Helra Citadel. The daggers always seem to be kind of a pain in the butt to get, but I will say that with the group finder now, and the amount of people that like to run plunder runs in there, because it's only a 20-minute clear to get through the place, you shouldn't have too many problems picking up the weapons and jewelry that you need. This set provides a line of crit chance, a line of weapon and spell damage, another line of crit chance, and when dealing martial melee damage, your critical chance is increased by 241 for 5 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. That is like another 12, 11 or 12% crit chance right there at full stacks. If you are not very good at keeping stacks, if you're not very good at light attack weaving and navigating from back bar to front bar pretty quickly, this might not be the set for you. You don't want these stacks dropping off. They do stack with martial melee damage, so our light attacks proc it, and our rapid strikes are going to proc it, so it's easy to get it up. But if you're not good at swapping to that back bar, reapplying dots, and getting back to that front bar and getting a light attack off before that 5 seconds is up, then you're going to see these fall off, and this might not be the set for you. You might want to go with something that's just a little more autopilot, so to speak, something like Pillars of Nirn, that it just fires off of damage being done rather than, you know, light or heavy attacks. Just any damage can proc it. Your Aegis Collar is also a good choice right here. It is a really big AoE from that Aegis that comes out and starts spinning, and it's procced off a martial critical melee damage. Oh, pardon me, off of critical martial melee damage. So any of the light attacks that would hit, or the rapid strikes when they crit, are going to cause the Aegis to come out. So if you're not good with bar swapping and light attack weaving and keeping stacks up, you can always trade this out for, like I said, Aegis or Pillars. Our monster helm, we are running Maw of Infernal. We got the mask and the epaulets here. Both are being ran in divines. This does provide a line of Maxim Magicka, which really doesn't benefit us a whole lot. Even we are using Magicka abilities, so it's nice to have a little bit more Magicka on there. But when you deal damage with a light or heavy attack, you have a 33% chance to summon a fire breathing Daedroth for 15 seconds. And the damage on it's pretty good, 3358 every 2 seconds. This can happen every 15 seconds, so like you can keep this up. This has a really good uptime to it. With it only being 33% chance, you're obviously not going to have a 100% uptime on it, but 90% or better is very obtainable as long as you're light and heavy attack weaving. If this is not, if you, once again, if you're not good with light attack weaving, um, you could trade this out for like Stormfist or Veladrith or Kalnars from. I know that one's. I think that one's light attack as well. But Stormfist and Veladrith both proc off of damage done, if I'm not mistaken. So those are two options. They won't hit as hard as the Maw, because the Daedric Prey ability that we have on the Sorcs actually buffs the damage that this does. It's considered a pet when it's out, so it gives us a good bit of damage increase from this Daedroth when it does come out. Our last set is what we have on the body. This is Reliquins. Obviously, this is out of Cloud Rest. As you can see, this is not the perfected version of it. The perfected version only adds what, another line of critical chance, so you're missing out on 2% critical chance when going with the non-perfected version. Let me just make sure real quick that I'm telling you, I'm not lying to you here. So the bonus, oh, I'm sorry, it's stamina. That's my bad. It's stamina. So you'd be losing out on another 1,058 stamina, which is it's a lot of stamina. It really is. Um, Once again, it's still going to be somewhat negligible. It's not going to be, earth-shattering difference in damage by any means, but it's going to be a little bit better if you do have the perfected version of this. Now, I do have all of this in divines, all of it with max stamina enchants. We are running 6 pieces of medium on the body plus 1 light. We're not running anything heavy whatsoever. Now, back to the Reliquin real quick. You are getting your Minor Slayer 2 lines of crit chance, and your light and heavy attacks apply a stack of harmful winds. They stack up to 10 times. This builds up, and if you're very good at light and heavy attack weaving, this is a very heavy damaging set. If you're not, this is another area where you could replace this with something else, like the Aegis Collar or the uh, Pillars and Urn. You're gonna like if you're gonna see a significant difference in the amount of DPS that's gonna drop off here. You could also go with Coral Riptide from Dreadsail Reef. That one is that's a good set to run here. You could actually run it instead of the Reliquins if you would like. That one is just, the lower your stamina is, the more weapon and spell damage it provides for you, up to like 740 weapon and spell damage at 33% max stamina. So I've parsed both of these, and the Reliquin, for me at least, did better. Um, People who are really good at playing that little stamina mini game, I like to refer to it as, keeping that stamina at 33%, they're probably seeing better numbers than I am they would see a lot better numbers than I am with that. But the numbers that I'm getting, I'm not going to be mad about. That's why I've just stuck with the Reliquins myself. But if you're good at that little stamina mini game, you could definitely take off the Reliquins and go with the Coral Riptide from VDSR. Skills skills are pretty simple. First off, we're going to have our Volatile Familiar and our Twilight Tormentor on both bars because we have to, because we're a Sorc. The Familiar is going to be an ability that we refresh on cooldown. The Twilight, we're not going to. The Tormentor, like, if you want to buff it before you go into a fight, absolutely go right ahead, but there's not enough upside to recasting this every time, and it's very expensive to recast as well. So on cooldown, resummon or reactivate your volatile, but the tormentor not necessary. On our back bar, our maelstrom bar here, we are running Stampede. This is the ability that procs our maelstrom weapon. We're running Barb Trap right now. This is for our minor force, and this does pretty decent damage, plus applies the hemorrhaging status effect, which is changing with the next update as well. They keep going back and forth on changing different things about hemorrhaging, so I don't know how hemorrhaging is going to end up when update 41 hits yet. I don't even know if they truly know how hemorrhaging is going to work, but it's still going to be a really good choice because of the minor force, obviously. I am using Hurricane. This is the ability that, it grows in size as time goes up. It grows in damage as time goes up. So this is one of those abilities that you really want to um, let run its full duration. If you have to let it fall off completely before reapplying, then that's a good thing. Like you don't want to be reapplying this every 15 seconds, because you're not getting the full potential out of the damage that it can do. So this one, if your rotation isn't clean enough, or if your rotation's so quick that you would be reapplying it with 5 or 6 seconds left, let it fall off, and then bar swap back to it and put it up after it falls off. Get that amount of damage out of it that it needs to do. Now, this ability also provides you with your major resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance, and minor expedition for 15% movement speed. On the back bar, I am using Greater Storm Atronach. This is our hardest single target uh, ultimate for a Sorc. Plus, it provides a major Berserk synergy for 10 seconds for someone standing near the Atronach. So when you throw it down, you always want to make sure you throw it off to the side or whatnot for two reasons. One, it's really annoying as a tank to have the Atronach pop right in your face when you're trying to tank. And being that you're already using Maw of Infernal, that happens all the time as well. That Daedroth pops right up in your tank's face, so it's annoying for your tank when you're using either one of these. So try to be considerate, at least with the Greater Storm Atro, to throw him off to the side so he's not popping on your tank's face, and he's going to be close enough for somebody in the group to get that synergy and that major berserk for 10 seconds. Front bar, we are using rapid strikes. This is our just absolute monstrous damage dealing spammable right here. We are using Daedric Prey. This is a very nice ability. When you apply it, all of your pets do 45% additional damage, including your Atronach and your Maw of Infernal. Uh, when it expires, it has a very large pop in damage to it when it does expire, 6 seconds after putting it on. So once again, this is another one you want to make sure completely expires to get that damage from the explosion, and then you want to make sure that you're reapplying it as quickly as possible to keep up the excess damage for all of your pets that you have out as well. Crystal Fragments is a top priority. Anytime this procs when you're on this front bar, you want to throw this Crystal Fragment. When it procs, it does 33, or it has a 33% chance to proc, and when you do any other type of damage, and if it procs, it deals 66% more damage and costs half price. So this is a huge damage buff right here. They're a huge damage dealer to us right here as well. On the back bar here, or on the front bar here, I do run Flawless Dawnbreaker. This is kind of a flex. You can put other things here. I've seen people run Power Overload here just to squeeze as much ultimate out of their parse or squeeze as much damage out of their parse as they can. But I run the Flawless here mainly because if you're in a if you're in a trash mob, like, this will hit a lot of stuff. It's got a nice little conal to it. It does provide you with 300 in weapon and spell damage for 6 or 20 seconds after activating it as well. Plus, you get your Fighters Guild passive of 3% more weapon and spell damage for having this slotted. You can put whatever you want here, but those are the reasons why I put the Flawless on here. Champion points, green and red trees, you can do whatever you want, but on the blue tree here, I am currently running Deadly Aim, Master at Arms, Wrathful Strikes, and Exploiter for the extra off balance damage. If you're not in an optimized group where off balance is being provided by somebody that is using a lightning staff or whatever, you can always trade this out for untamed aggression. If you're not, just for the extra weapon and spell damage, if you're not optimized for in the group for your uh, crit cap, you can always put on fighting finesse for 8% more. Or if you're in somewhere where you can constantly be flanking the boss or standing behind him, then instead of fighting finesse, you can always use backstabber. But those are all kind of situational. You have to play those as you go. Make sure you have all your other, you know, all your other passive CPs that don't require to be slotted filled in as well. But those are the slotted. When when we're when we're doing this build or doing this rotation, I'm sorry, we are when we're running into a fight, we're buffing. We're gonna go ahead and hit our bird one time, just because we're getting ready to start the fight and it doesn't do us. Why not hit the bird? After that, don't worry about it. We're gonna hit our scamp as well and get him started. Gonna hit our hurricane, and then we will, run in. I like to just charge in with my trap or charge in with my uh, critical charge or stampede, lay my trap, bar swap, and then start to the front bar. So anytime those anytime those shards are popping, I'm making sure that I'm hitting them. Gonna make sure I keep my scamp up all the time. And I'm not gonna. I got a parse that I'm going to attach to this so you can see exactly what it does. I just kind of wanted to show you how the rotation's gonna go there, how I start the fight, and then you're basically just going to be reapplying your back bar abilities, your back bar dots as they fall off. And if you put them on the way that I just did them right there, they all fall off right about in the same order. So keeping them up all the time is very easy. You're going to drop Atronach on cooldown and make sure that you have your Daedric Prey up at all time. Now, just to give you an idea, like I hit that thing for 12 seconds and did 97,000 damage in 12 seconds. Like this build is just a monstrous single target build. This parse that I'm going to attach to this and show to you is a 121,000 parse with this tune, and it is just it's just amazing how much damage this build can do. Oh, before I do anything else, I'm sorry, I almost forgot to tell you, we are using, if it wasn't apparent already, we are using the weapon damage or weapon power pots. These are uh, what is it? Man, I haven't made these in so long I can't remember. There is Blessed Thistle, there is Wormwood, and there is another one. Oh man, what is it? I'm dragging this video out because it's been so long since I've made these pots because I've had so many of them on me for the longest time that I can't remember exactly. So Lorcan's Tears, Blessed Thistle, Dragonthorn, and Wormwood. And those are your major brutality, major savagery, and major endurance pots right there. Keeps up your stamina recovery, your weapon and spell critical, and your major brutality, which is your weapon damage. But that's all I got for you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. It's kind of nice to be back and playing again, to be honest with you. I'll attach this 121k parse so you guys can see exactly how it went down, and the abilities and stuff that I used. But I don't have anything more for you. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it greatly, and happy adventuring.